basically, or
Yes.
I'm out.
Yes.
Basically, I'm done.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Happy Thursday. Welcome to Live from Rabs from inside Rabs Country Lanes.
Yes.
Episode
Frank.
121.
Ma'am, what are you doing, Mr. Cuomo?
It's a little tight shirt.
It's fine if it's tight.
It's a little tight. It's a little
Okay.
tight.
It just needs to be even.
Well, you were a little, you didn't, listen.
You're right.
Now all of a sudden you're concerned. You were sitting here for the past, I don't know, what time is it? It's supposed to be, it's for the past like 8 minutes.
Yes.
And you didn't even, and I think it's back to where it was.
Oh, no, it's not. His calories balanced.
Good afternoon. Today is a beautiful day to really be going
bowling. Yes, it is.
Kids are still not in school, would not be in school, and we'd be open, and just a beautiful day to come inside and go bowling. But sadly, that's not the case. So instead, you get to hear us today.
Yes.
It's Thursday. We've been taking the show on the road on Thursdays. Pam was on vacation last week and this week. She'll be back next week. Naz and I were going to go dine out this week down the block. And no.
It's not dine out weather.
It is.
And if you could see, my hair is definitely saying it's not dine out weather.
Oh, hello, everybody. Bowling fans, as our friend Dennis would say. And yes, say hello to the governor.
Yeah, Andy looks a little chubby because he's got...
Andy looks chubby. He's got a very small shirt on today. Maybe it's because he's trying to show off his muscles.
Yeah.
I'd rather that than, other things that he's got.
He should be thinking about bowling is what he needs to be thinking about.
He does, and that's why he's here. So we started yesterday. We tweeted and posted a picture of good old Andy joining us on the set, and we hope you do the same. Bob, you certainly can come in and pick up your equipment. We are here. Anybody that'd like to, we've already had some folks drop in and grab their equipment because they've been practicing. Sadly, because they're practicing over the bridge in New Jersey. But we're here from 11:30 to about 4 o'clock. When you arrive, come to the Delaware Avenue entrance and call the number on the door, and somebody will be happy to let you in.
We'll be happy to.
You could also call the Pro Shop as well. Jimmy's here on Tuesdays and Thursdays if you wanted to make an appointment to have him look at your stuff or go to your locker. You could also call the Pro Shop and set that up, and we'd be happy to let you in to get your equipment. It's nice to see people. It's not nice to see them. It's nice when they come in. Stuff.
Not so nice when they leave 5 minutes later.
But we have gotten to see some folks in the last couple of weeks taking advantage of the opportunity of bowling over the bridge in New Jersey. So by all means, get yourselves ready because a new season is coming before you know it. And we have to just keep putting in the universe. A new bowling season's coming.
Yep.
We're going to be open. We're going to be ready to rock and roll.
We are going to be ready.
To the best of our ability. Liz, are you limping?
Yeah, she hurt her back.
Oh.
One of those things. One of those. Hi, Liz.
I just saw Liz.
Liz, do me a favor. Never mind.
No problem, Bob. She went over to the snack carts, I noticed. Because I
think she's doing a count for Naz for the party.
Of the candy availability. We had a tailgate party with our employees the other day.
Yes, we did.
It was a great day to be with our family. And we emptied the snack machine because, March was here and the candy was in good shape. But
April,
May came. I'm sorry, March came. March never ended. March continued. And so, those expiration dates were creeping up on us. Yeah. And so we've been sharing
it's March 150th or something like that. And
Oh, happy March. We certainly can't wait to see you back on the lanes for sure.
Yeah.
Bob, you make a great point. I miss the peeps.
Yeah.
And we all do. It's a big, Naz mentioned it yesterday. This is not just recreation, but socialization of being around people.
Yeah.
And we know that we can do it safely, and we plan to. And No, we certainly can't wait for that to happen. Ben, Big Money No Whammies, wrong show. That's bingo. For those that play bingo with us, bingo will be back in another week. Originally, we had planned for bingo to come tomorrow, and some changes in our schedule. So, bingo probably next week. We'll announce it, and we're actually make a couple changes. Get some ready for a new round of bingo.
We're ready. I know Greta's ready, so.
I know Greta did ask me as well if we were.
She's anxious to quiz bingo.
Bingo. Well, if you watched us yesterday we had the one and only Jacob with a K Butcher on the show.
He was great.
He really was.
Really was great.
And so go back and watch that interview, as well as all the other interviews. I mean, he's just one of the PBA superstars that
we have been blessed with amazing interviews and amazing guests, and very forthcoming and willing to share all types of stories.
Yeah, sometimes maybe sharing too much, but that's okay.
Yeah,
we welcome it.
Absolutely, we do. Absolutely.
You know, Kelly Kulick, when she was on the show, she was the first to drop a bomb, and so just laid it from there. Andy is enjoying the diffuser, I think, today, Ness.
Yeah, he is. Look at that smile on his face. And it's going right at him. That is really...
Which is not good. But, good thing it's only a flat Andy. Ness, how are you today?
I'm all right. We're still getting stuff done, keeping busy. And I'm doing a lot of gardening, which I am truly enjoying. I really, really am. And this will continue after the apocalypse, yes. And yeah. So how are you, Frank?
I'm good. I am good.
It's about time for this to be over, isn't it?
It really is. My
exceedingly...
mood is manical today.
And mine is chill.
Suggestive of or afflicted with insanity. And I did feel that way. I did go to... I actually had a good start of the day. I did go to the bank. I did go inside and see our friend Julie, who had surgery. She's doing well. She's back in action. And Stephanie. It was just nice to see people. A little normalcy. The bank's still not operating at full capacity where everybody's going in the lobby, and it's still different. But it was nice to have a conversation. I was on a webinar this morning, which was great to hear. Some great speakers, and just. I want to say energized, but it puts every time you listen to somebody or somebody new speak, you get some new perspective of the crap happening around us.
Yeah.
Let alone just what to look forward to next.
Yeah. And we are looking forward. We definitely are.
Today is Thursday. It's gross outside. We should be eating. We're not eating.
We're not eating.
So we're just gonna make the best of it. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I don't know what I have planned this weekend, but I want to just do nothing.
Well, we have probably Nicholas's party on Saturday. And then Sunday we're just going to chill out.
Yeah. I had dinner plans for Saturday. Got to go somewhere we haven't gone yet. But no, I just want to, while I can, work on my my mother said to me the other day, we were out, and she looked at me and she says, wow, I don't know the last time I saw that you had a tan. She goes, that might have been when we went on vacation to Aruba. And I don't even know if I had a tan, I had much of a tan then. But, I'm living the unessential life. Right. Naz, the other day I mentioned that I had stopped next door at Ariema's.
Yes, you did.
I snapped a quick photo last night. This is the best photo. But check out these tomatoes.
I have to say, that is my favorite vegetable.
Oh, fruit.
I understand. It's a fruit. I call it a fruit vegetable. Because you don't eat it like a fruit. You really eat it like a vegetable. I mean, you don't really, you're not going to, well, some people probably would pick up a tomato and eat it like a fruit. To me, it's a fruit vegetable.
Huh.
That's what it is. That's what I consider it.
Well, see, now depends on the type of tomato. Because if I have little, grape tomatoes, I eat them
correct.
Just
that's not what those are, though.
No, those are beefsteaks. I mean, they're huge. However, I I can't say I don't pick up a tomato, put a little and salt on it, and bite into it.
I'm not saying I
Those
have
you really
never
can't.
done
I mean,
that.
they're too
but-
big and juicy.
Right. I'm not saying I've never done that because I do like tomato, but it's not something I consider a fruit. It's a fruit vegetable because it as a specimen it's a fruit. I know that.
Yeah.
But
It's definitely a great day for ranting. We're not there yet, Dennis. But you never know.
I treat it as a vegetable. So that's that. That's in my world.
I don't disagree. I'm just trying to think about the ways that I'm as we're sitting here and you're sitting there, I'm thinking about other fruits that I eat like that. I cut up fruits,
Yeah, me too.
but I don't eat them. I see. Watermelon. Now wait, it's a melon. But I eat it savory. Make a salad with it.
I'm not saying you
Onions.
can't.
'Cause
Well,
typically you would. I think we think sweet. We think like you're eating, picking up, grabbing, and eating.
yeah.
And not
Right.
making it. And when you make a salad with it, it's typically savory, not necessarily like.
Right. But I have salads that I make that I put fruit in all the time.
Absolutely.
Pears,
Tomatoes.
blueberries, tomatoes. A fruitable. There it is.
I like that.
Thank
Fruitable.
you. It to me, it's a fruitable.
Fruitable. Fruit veggie. Okay. Listen. The point. I like it.
The point is the vegetable. The tomato was great. Yes.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This picture does this no justice.
Yeah.
This tomato was this big.
Yeah, I saw them.
They were beautiful.
Like I said, they get in Girardi's too. I get them
cheap.
Yeah.
But they were.
That is the one thing I have to say, that the cost of vegetables is
very high.
high.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the reason also I like my Bits box, because the price hasn't changed. So for $22 every couple of weeks,
Yeah.
I get this nice box. They market it as, I believe that $22 they market as a $35
Yeah. Well, or more than that, I
or
think.
more, depending
Yeah.
on the types of fruit.
Because I know that I get the bigger one, and it's 35, and they say it's 65, I believe, $65 worth, and it's organic. So
Fresh from the
organic
farm.
is always more expensive. So yeah, I actually just got an email from them to be some sort of beta tester. So you probably got it too. I think they kind of, anybody who's there for a length of time and is getting it pretty much every
I don't
week.
know what it really means though. It wasn't very specific.
It says something about photos of the vegetables, which I don't know what that means, because they pretty much have that now.
Well, they're stock images. You don't get actual photos.
Well, I don't know if that's what it's going to be that you're actually getting.
Are we getting presents?
It's Food Thursday, so you might as well.
Food Thursday. So Melissa brought us Dunkaroos.
Yes.
I noticed she only brought it for you.
I'm going to share.
have another
this is
one.
for sharing.
No, it's okay.
'Cause
I don't want.
I have to say, we
I don't
should do a
want
live
that.
taste test of these. We'll go into.
You
Thank
enjoy
you, Melissa. Where'd you get these Dunkaroos from?
ShopRite and High Holborn.
ShopRite. Good old ShopRite. And now they're made by Betty Crocker, which I don't think they were made by Betty Crocker before.
Oh, that seems like a
So maybe that too reinvigorated.
rebranded them.
Rebrand.
Nice.
Thank you. And so it's got. This is actually a bigger container.
Yeah, I guess it was not something that those.
These were a '90s kid snack.
Yes. So it wasn't me, and it wasn't my kids. It was after. My
Oh, definitely
kids.
later. So they're vanilla. If you don't know Dunkaroos, they're vanilla cookies with vanilla frosting.
It's
with
like a
rainbows.
deconstructed cookie.
Yeah, with the dipping. Oh, here we go. So she's now.
I'm not going to eat it.
Well, you're gonna have to.
No.
Well, I'm gonna share one, and you can keep that for later. But these are definitely a bigger container. I have to say, I was spoiled.
Thank you. Liz.
My father made us lunch every day. So a little brown bag. He always made a sandwich,
I used to
a
love
snack,
doing
and a
that.
juice box. And whether it was an apple juice, an orange juice, something, or it was the Melissa. What were the fruit punch drinks, the squeeze bottles? Squishers.
Gushers.
Gushers were the snack that we'd get. We'd also get these. No, they were like they were
I don't remember.
clear plastic.
Not the barrel drinks.
We had those too. These are not a fruitable, no. They're like help me out here. They were about this tall, like a beer bottle, thin, clear, and they had different color,
Oh.
and you basically they had like a
Squeeze
little.
them.
They had a twist
Yeah.
top,
I don't. Yes,
They were gross,
I can
but
see
they were
it.
delicious.
They were really sugary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for
Like
kids.
most stuff.
So we would get one of those, a sandwich, and a snack, and then for a long time we got these. And not Capri Sun. We did get. No, I'm not gonna get Capri.
Yeah.
Capri Sun is in the foil bag.
Right. But that was different. This
The
was
straw
like
would either go through the
this
front
was
or the
like
back.
a frosted plastic bottom.
Yeah.
Plastic squeezy
For
bottle.
those that do those like tests, no, not Sun Cup. We're getting closer. Squishy. If you do any of those like snack from the eras things,
Right.
it's always on there for
Yeah.
like for the 90s. They discontinued them in the early 2000s.
Yeah, probably between the
Kool-Aid Crush. It might have been Kool-Aid Crushers or something like that. They had two of them, Kool-Aid, and then there was an off-brand one.
probably between the packaging and the amount of, although they still think about how unhealthy some of that food was, and now with the newer restrictions, things have gotten a little bit better. But there's so much genetically modified foods that it's a little fun.
Squeeze It drinks. Margaret Pellegrino comes to the rescue. Yes, the Squeeze It drinks. Squeeze It's. And we had stupid commercials too. All right, so I definitely you just caught me. I'd lick the frosting off the back of this. So the cookies are different. They're thin.
Oh, look at that.
And holy Moses, that's sweet.
Sweet. That's what kids want.
No.
Plastic cup and foil lid. I think I know. I don't think it was.
No, those were the
The
barrel
barrel
drinks,
drinks.
the quarter drinks. Whoa. That's sweet.
Is it like Betty Crocker frosting?
It's definitely better. So the frosting's better because it's like taking the spoon out of Betty Crocker. Whoa.
Check
Who knew that
out.
we were going to be taste testing Dunkaroos on the air? I like the cookies.
Oh, it's got a lot of carbs in it.
They're like biscuits. But that frosting is uber sweet.
What is good is that it's only one serving, and it.
Margaret, text me the picture and then I could show it.
Let's see the sugar. Looks good.
All right. That brings a little childhood back.
There it is. You needed that today.
I think we all do. A little nostalgia.
18 grams sugar.
So Melissa just told us that she picked up these Dunkaroos at ShopRite. Typically, like these snacks, when they launch them and stuff, you don't want to open it here.
That'd be great. Thank you, because I really just.
Target, Walmart always have like the newest snacks that they just launched. Speaking of, I saw a post. Oh, go ahead.
That is the frosting.
Like the cookie's not sweet. So the cookies used to be more like a honey graham type cookie.
Those I like.
Well, I love honey graham.
That's sweet. That is.
I love the chocolate grahams.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's sweet.
I wonder why kids are all hyped up today.
But so she said she bought these at ShopRite, but typically Target and Walmart always wind up having the new flavors, the new M&Ms.
Look at the distribution.
The new Oreos always, the new M&Ms, and I just saw. I don't know how I feel about this.
All right, what do you got, Frank?
I'm going to show the picture.
Okay.
So, this is a new M&M.
Oh, that's a new M&M. Really, just regular M&Ms are fine.
Although
they did come up with a couple. They came up with the one with the pretzel in it.
those are good.
Those are not bad.
Those are definitely good. I don't really like the crispy ones.
No, I didn't think those.
I love the brownie ones.
I haven't tasted those.
I just
Let Andy try one.
It's gonna stick it to his face, and then it's gonna be like a gummy bear at the movie theater when you throw it on the screen. It's just gonna drift down. Just leave it on him. Andy trying to Dunkaroo. Oh my god!
There he is.
No, it looks like he's got big teeth. I don't think they can really tell. All right, ready?
We'll see how long that stays there.
Popcorn, artificial flavored.
Oh, you know why? Because people take their M&Ms at the movies and pour it into the popcorn bucket.
Yeah, which I like that. I don't have a problem with that.
It's the salt and sweet.
Okay, but what bothers me about this is the fact that it's
It's not
popcorn flavored.
It's not popcorn.
And I'm not a huge popcorn. I like popcorn. And as of late, we like the skinny pop or the Chica Pop from Costco.
Boom chicka pop.
Boom Chica Pop.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is
Which is delicious.
crisp rice center. And then it's flavored with popcorn
Yeah,
flavor.
see, the artificial flavoring, we really need to get away from that. We really.
And some of the artificial flavors are terrible. Absolutely terrible. But popcorn, I don't know.
Ooh, probably because of that, whatever I just ate.
Frosting. Cookies and frosting.
Yeah, but they're not.
But artificial flavoring, some of them, popcorn especially, no, not for me. And we talked about the chocolate, like artificial flavoring.
That's terrible. It's. We gotta get away from the audit because we have no idea what it is. You don't know. They start mixing vats until it tastes.
So Andy has the Dunkaroo.
He's enjoying it. He hasn't spit it out yet. We're trying to be nice to him. We're treating him respectfully.
He's here with us. We gave him a shirt. We dressed him up. We're letting him try the food that we're getting. This is lunch today, Dunkaroo.
It's food Thursday.
Thank you, Melissa. Melissa is running deliveries today.
Yes, she is.
And that was pretty quick. Arturo got here a little while ago, and the first delivery popped right out. So if you place an order for pizza, Melissa will be delivering your pizza with a big
maybe
old
she'll
smile
bring you this
today.
package of Dunkaroos.
I have to say, she might be the snack queen.
She
there's a new
likes
snack,
the snacks.
She
She
definitely does.
definitely.
And always brings us new snacks. Always tries. Her and I
Always.
text all the time. Photos of just snacks.
Yeah.
Like there's this one Instagram that I follow. It's like all these like up and coming new snacks, and it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's snacks on there that I just would never
think to try.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't eat.
You wouldn't even.
Like I'll try anything.
Yeah.
No. Like I think that M&Ms. That was an email from M&Ms that they were.
Well, you know you're up in the snack food chain when you get emails from M&M.
Well, you buy from the store, you subscribe, and you get stuff.
That's what I'm saying. You're up on the food chain. I don't get. I got
Have
no
you ever
emails
ordered from
from Mars.
M&Ms.com? Have you ever ordered from them directly?
You're up on the food chain.
I ordered from them directly, so I would get an email.
Of course, that's how you get up on the food chain.
It's not being up on the food chain. I just bought something, so they
are.
added me to the mailing list.
Okay.
What are you trying to
You're
say?
a consumer. I'm nothing. You're their customer. Don't take it personally. It sounds like a rant is starting. So
You are the one that's starting the
calm
rants
down.
here.
Calm down.
You know, speaking of food, I could go for a nice steak.
I haven't had steak in weeks.
It's been about a week or two that I had a nice steak. Patricia, I don't know what's happening with your comments, but you must be using emojis that we can't
You
see.
can't see them.
They come up blank.
Anyway,
I'm a
so
little
maybe on the
disappointed.
way home, I made chicken last night. I made my so now that I do the smashed potatoes, every time I make them, I try a little something different. So last night I did them, and I did the usual salt, pepper, garlic powder,
So what do you use
onion
to smash
powder.
it?
I use my potato masher.
Okay.
Because first I boil them, then I cut them in quarters, more than quarters, eighths. I put them on the tray.
Oh, so if you have you take big ones and cut them up.
Yes, that's what I did because that's what I had this time. And then I dress them with the olive oil. I have garlic flavored olive oil, and then I use because I like the garlic, garlic powder, onion powder, and then I used Parmesan Reggiano last night.
Oh, I love that on steak.
I could just sit and eat a block of it.
Oh, me too.
It is.
But see, now when I use that, I no salt. I use that for the salt, and sometimes a little salt.
Yes.
But I mean,
I put
potatoes
very little
always
salt.
need salt.
Yeah. Right.
So it's funny that you mentioned the smashed potatoes because my sister-in-law likes them. We make dinner together, and a friend of ours, and so
Because they're super simple.
they are. But everybody has a different method to smashing the
them?
potatoes. So the first time recently that I had them, our friend Christy had made them, and they were like perfect. And I was like, oh, so tell me how you made them. Very similar to what you just said, but we used a small russet, small Yukons, whatever she
Yes,
had.
I've used them.
I like the red skin, like I love
I've
the red
used
skin
them,
potatoes.
yes.
Anything works.
Right.
And I said, all right, well, how'd you smash them? She goes, well, I was just looking for any device that I could just go like this with.
Right.
So she had a big mug and used a mug.
A mug, yeah. All you want to do is make them flat.
Yeah.
What
Parchment
I like
paper.
about the, I don't even use the parchment paper. When I use the potato masher, that, because it kind of comes up through the potato masher a little bit, it creates like little mounds, and they all get crispy. So it makes not only the skin bottom side crispy, the top gets crispy too. So it added a little extra to it. And yeah, they came out super delicious. And of course, huge salad.
Now you're making me. Now, I didn't take the steaks out of I have a couple of really nice steaks in the freezer. I can take them out. So maybe that's another night. But I have some fingerling potatoes that I got.
Oh, those are the
The last
best.
time I made those, I smashed them.
Those
I actually like to cook potatoes on the grill. I love to grill potatoes. So like the little ones, I'll cut them up and almost roast them right on the barbecue, right on foil.
Right.
They get nice, and I love that they have to be crispy.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
a little charred, and absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But the fingerlings, smash.
Well, you know what I do though? I boil them first.
Yes, when you do smash, and then you bake.
I boil them first, so they're, you
When
can
they're
kinda
really
get
little,
the
you don't
fork.
have to.
Yeah,
But it's
that
nice
makes sense,
because
too.
I feel like they cook a little bit faster, and they crisp up.
They crisp up better. That's why, because I like them. They're crispy.
You smash all the starch out. Smash.
I smash them.
Like
But
the like button.
They're
You
right
smash
there.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Smash that potato.
I've been sticking away from potatoes every so often, depending on what we're
Yeah,
eating.
we don't have them that often because we get them in the box.
Right.
So usually maybe once a week.
The ones in the
Oh,
box have been.
Oh,
I do like them. Kevin and Stephanie are growing potatoes.
that's the one thing, and that's a good fall crop. And I almost bought the seeds, but I was like, damn, I have too many other things going on.
We
right
went
now.
there for dinner, and it's funny because Carmela was showing us the pots. Last summer they had done tomatoes.
Do they
had a
do it
really
in
hard time.
they do it in a container?
So Carmela just, let's try it. So they got the little scrap, they cut it, took the potato spud, cut it.
You just put a
and just
potato
planted
in the
them.
ground.
But she's got them in pots. She's got one big pot,
Right.
and they're coming. I mean, you put your hand there, you feel them,
Yeah.
which I didn't know. So here's one of the challenges of gardening. So when do you pick something? So she said when the stalk dies off, that's when the potatoes are ready to pick.
Oh, okay. That
Makes
makes sense.
sense. We've got this pot of carrots out front. Okay. And
Every once in a while, I see Jimmy, like Bugs Bunny, walking around with the carrot and he's eating it.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
we
He just pulls them out.
we try to check them. It's hard to see, but they've been growing. They're really really little, but I don't know
Like when the time
when the
is.
time is right because I don't know what kind of
Epic.
carrots we're going to get out of that.
Epic gardening.
Yeah, I have
On
to really
YouTube.
look it up.
Gotta check it out.
We picked a couple. They were really sweet. The biggest one I've gotten so far is like.
Oh, that's decent
and they're
size.
thick on the top, but they're
Yeah.
just not as long.
Yeah.
So
And they were in a deep pot. So what I read because a lot of those things will kind of grow to the size of the pot, but like they're in it.
I don't think they're like horse carrots, but
No, that's a deep pot. So I don't know. It's interesting.
like when my fig tree, I'm excited because I could
Yeah.
like if you see the fruit and you pick the fruit up.
Yeah.
The strawberries, you see the fruit. Ground vegetables so hard. We had garlic out there, and the same thing when it dies off, you pluck it.
So I don't use pots anymore because I started looking for pots and I was so frustrated because I couldn't really find anything. So now I use grow bags.
For what?
They are felt bags.
Specifically for what?
Right now I have.
But you just got a big pot. I think you got a nice planter.
I did. I got a planter.
Okay.
I did one planter, but now I have all these friggin' seeds I just bought.
So felt bag.
It's a grow bag. What's great about it is you can easily move it wherever you want in the yard.
Does it become like a potato sack?
No, it's a bag. It's like a bag. You can reuse it over and over
Oh,
again.
but where do you put it?
You put it wherever you would put your plants.
Should you put it on the stand? You just put it on the
Just
ground?
put it on the ground.
And how big is said bag?
They have 5 gallon. They have 7-gallon. They have as big as you.
A big bag.
It's not
Tall.
super
Okay.
deep,
Okay, well,
but they have
Little
ones. They have ones for what my
the
point
root
was.
vegetables, which would be the.
They have one for root vegetables that has a window on the side, and you can pick them from underneath.
Ah,
It has a little
that's
thing
game
where you
changing.
hit.
Were they on Shark Tank or something?
No, I saw it on Epic Gardener, I think. So one of those,
That's cool.
or Amazon.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
I thought it was. I was like, oh my god, there you go.
That changes. That could change anybody's, because root vegetables are hard to. If you're on it, you've learned over the years, fine. But if
Right.
you're just starting, and a lot
Right.
of people have just started gardening,
Yes.
and there are tons of Facebook pages and
Oh,
YouTube channels
so many.
committed to gardening, so you can watch videos
Yeah,
all day.
I like personalities. It's so weird when you start watching YouTube videos like
Oh, yeah.
that. It's like, I will. They have to know what they're talking about, but they also have to have some kind of personality for me to watch.
Of course. Well, that's what gets you coming back. No different than you scrolling through the TikTok. And did you lose your phone stands?
No, I took it inside because we had a doctor's a telemed, so I took it inside, and then I ended up not even using
You know,
it.
I noticed it yesterday. I didn't say sorry.
Yeah.
That was a total.
Yeah, no,
pivot.
it's yeah.
We have these nice. I have to say, these are cool.
They are
from
great.
WeatherTech.
Yeah.
So WeatherTech had sent an email because I buy WeatherTech products in my car.
You're up on the food chain.
I'm up on the food chain. They're really cool. They're called.
Yeah.
It's called the desk phone, and it comes adjustable.
And they probably have one that fits in the cup holder or somewhere in your phone.
They
in
do.
your car.
They have one for the car, but this one's for the desk.
Yeah, it's really
They have
good.
two models, one that's thicker than the other. So depending on the phone case, like this one's the extra large because I have a pop socket, and it fits right in. And I bought this for my desk because the challenge that I was having at my desk is that I couldn't. When I got a new phone,
You have to get like a
to
new.
charge it and plug it in, I didn't have anywhere to put it, so it was laying down. I had a little wood stand, which is
Right.
great, but then I
But
would
there's
have to
no
bump
place
it up.
to. Right.
So this sits on my desk. It's got plenty
yeah, I
of room
love
for the
that.
charger.
No, I didn't lose it. It's
So we've been using them here on the set because they're easy to.
Yeah.
But I noticed Naz didn't have hers. It's okay.
I'll figure it out tomorrow.
No, it's okay. I'm not insulted or anything.
I hope not, because I love that.
They're great. They're so check it out. WeatherTech. The desk. What do you call it? The desk phone with an F. Phone. Phone, like phonetic phone, not the phone.
Yes, not that. So so continue. You were talking about
We're talking about gardening.
we were talking about gardening, and then you said something about the TikTok.
Oh, so no different than.
Sorry, you know I'm focused on the TikTok.
No, you were talking about
Learning things.
learning things, but personalities. So no different than watching the TikTok or a YouTube channel and looking. You follow someone specifically because they're funny and you like what they do. I will say that the people that I follow on the TikTok are people who are funny, deliver his great content on a regular basis.
Right.
The funny part about TikTok is how paid sponsors. Yeah, product placement. Dennis.
Yeah,
we keep talking about it. You know what? You guys might have to write to our friends and let them know because we've sold a lot of products on our show. Just saying.
We talk about something almost every day.
Yeah, we do. So
go ahead.
On TikTok, you have two areas where it's the for you and then those you follow.
Yeah.
And I don't always go to the follow page. I always just keep scrolling through.
Yeah,
for
me
you,
too.
Which a lot of the people that you follow will show up in there.
Right.
It's interesting. So if it was Facebook, on Facebook you only see what you follow unless it's a paid advertisement.
Right.
On TikTok, when you're scrolling, it's called the for you page. You see everything.
Yeah.
And it's basic.
Well, you see things that follow along with your
what you like.
Right.
I don't have to be friends with them or follow them, but I'll see them because either went viral, their video went viral, and it shows up, or it's topic that
a topic that you follow or something.
Cool.
Yeah. I've been at so many things because of that.
Yeah, the cup phone is cool. It's not. I don't use it.
Because we always in our car we always have coffee.
Right, but I also have the pop socket. The pop socket I have a little thing, the sticker, and it goes on. And I have one for the air vent. So depending on which has been fun. I mean, it works great. It's right in front of me. It sticks there. But not all cars have a spot where you can stick
something. Right. Right.
No bingo this weekend, Chris. No bingo. No bingo. Hi, Linda. Michelle, you popped in. It's been a very long time. I hope you are well. I think you're back to work, so I think that's why we don't get to see you on a regular basis.
Oh, Michelle.
What? Michelle Desposito.
Oh, yes. It's been a long time.
Linda shot. Her and I just send pictures of each other's food.
Yes. Well,
especially as a lady.
she's a fellow foodie, like.
And so she started getting the Misfits. Loves the
She
Misfits, so we go back and forth on beats. Linda, was that jicama or turnips in your box this week?
Big.
I don't know how big it was. I think we determined it might have been a turnip. She got one of her beats, but it's funny when you get these boxes and you look at something you've never bought it before.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is.
Yeah. That's when I go to the. That's when I go to the Facebook page, or I go to the Misfits page, and I just scroll through and I'm like, pulled it up and I go, yeah, well, that's it.
Some of them should just be pinned to the top of the page because jicama is something that
so many people ask about that.
And I love so there's a Misfits page. There's a Misfits page
dedicated
for subscribers. Yes. And people ask the same damn questions. And so the funny part was the other day somebody posted, "Can we just again with this?"
Right.
What I don't understand, people post pictures of limes as if they've never seen a lime before, and they don't know what to do with limes.
Some of the limes that I've gotten are not quite really green.
Okay,
Well,
I'm not talking about questionable limes.
Oh, okay, really green limes?
They're clearly limes.
Maybe
and people are writing like they've never used a lime before.
Maybe they don't know what to do.
No, they don't. And I find it funny because we use limes all the time.
But, Frank, people in some parts.
They just never had a margarita.
People just don't use limes.
I love to cook with limes.
I've used them occasionally. I like them more in water. Like I'll make a pitcher of water and
cucumber and lime.
Slice up the
But I just find it funny. It's one of those things that you just assume that people know. And they're basically writing, what the hell do I do with a lime?
Yeah.
And they're not key limes, so you can't really make pie out of a non-key lime.
Yeah.
And
they are kind of, the ones I've gotten are kind of small.
I usually try not to select them because we always have lemons and limes in the house, so it's not special for us.
Right.
So I want the special things at the house.
Oh, that's right, because you can choose.
You could customize.
Yes, and I do. I have finally gotten on the customization road, so I can customize my box, which is great.
And so, hi Nancy.
Hi Nancy.
Dennis also mentioned paid sponsors in the chat, and so Linda's even saying she loves her Misfits Market, and amazing how many things she's learned online. Tell your friends, tell your family. You never know what you're going to learn here, whether it's good or bad. I mean, we're going to talk about it anyway. Yeah. Like these Dunkaroos. I mean, I'm not going to go out and buy them, but at least I got to try them.
You got to try.
That rhymes.
Yeah. You rhymed it and you didn't even know.
And Andy is still eating his.
He's taken a long time with that. That's definitely going to leave a grease spot on his face.
There's definitely going to be a grease spot on his face. We probably should take it off. We don't have any napkins, though.
No, we don't.
I mean, it's not going to be that much longer, so he's okay.
He's okay.
He's smiling.
He's gonna hang
I don't think we're going to see him again today. The mayor has been on every day. He spoke. He was speaking. Yes. He spoke twice yesterday and the day before.
He has a lot to say right now.
We will have Marco back on with us. We've featured Marco and Gennaro's food several times, but yes, Marco is not here today. Otherwise, we could have brought him in. And I'm glad to see he's doing well. He did golf yesterday. So I didn't get to talk to him about his golf. He's not golfing today.
On a miserable, hot, muggy day.
Yeah. The last time Marco brought us pizza and Zeppeli's, and we ate Zeppeli's on the show, and the Zeppeli's were this big.
And there was powder everywhere.
There was powder everywhere. This approach might still have powder. Sugar, powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar, yes.
So yeah, you never know what you're going to hear on Live for Rabs. So use his shirt. No, we're not going to waste use his shirt as a napkin. I want to give these shirts away. So it's our 25th anniversary. We've been sharing. We've been closed for half of it at this point. And we've been sharing some old photos. Many of you have seen some good ones.
Oh, that is.
And today is a series. I have 3 photos because one photo just doesn't. I don't have one photo that tells this story. But back in March of 2011.
Was it 2011?
2000. It doesn't seem. It seems like it was. Yeah, it
It
was only
seems like it was longer ago than that.
2011. My brother, help him, had an idea to help promote his show. So, my Big Gay Italian Wedding was on off-Broadway, and there's a line in the show. Well, the higher the hair, the closer to God. Duh. And so to promote the show and to reach a different audience, they created a contest, a hair contest. The higher the hair, the closer to God. And so they went around to hair salons throughout the city, New Jersey, in the immediate area, tri-state area, invited them to participate. They had to submit a video photo of someone with big hair and the stylist. And then they had a semifinal contest, which, needless to say, no different than how Nazareth gets in trouble with ideas, and so do I, and our friend Christine Dehart. We get in trouble because we have this idea, and then how do you make it happen? Well, Anthony had this idea, but then didn't have the rest of it. So the idea was the winner or winners would also receive a walk-on role in the show. Well, we have this beautiful venue, and so Anthony says, "Well, we need a semifinals. We need to host this event."
Decide, yeah, we need to.
So red carpets and all, and I don't know, Naz, how many people?
There was a lot of people.
Well, so this is just a look at some of this, but we hosted this contest, and this is kind of looking at the direction from the middle of the boat. So from 24 on this way, these are people sitting on the approach. These are contestants, the hairstylists, guests, and family.
There was such a.
It was crazy, but it was fun.
It was so much fun, but all I can remember is having a heart attack because people were there that were not bowlers, and they kept trying to walk on the lane's part. I was like, oh my God.
They had no clue.
No clue.
Yeah, I think this was a Sunday night. So right after, it was Sunday night because the salons are typically closed on Mondays. And then, so this is what, as a result of, this is just one of the contestants. There were 20 contestants, I think, who got to walk the red carpet on lane 25 with their big hair. That's hair. That black spot is hair, not the masculine. It's hair. The event was hosted by Ron Corning, and then the judges were Dina Manzo, Elvis Duran. Look how chubby he was.
Right?
And Tabitha Coffey.
She was a pip.
She's funny. And of course with alcohol certainly didn't hurt. But she's from, I don't know what reality show.
Oh, what show was that?
But she was like the John Tapper for hair salons. But she would go in and kind of rescue, salon rescue or something.
Yeah. I loved her show. And she was pretty darn close to
Elvis is like half the person now.
Yep.
So this was just a brief look. This was the contest. So that's an event that happened here at Rabs 2011. You just never know what could happen.
We covered it all.
We've had it all. We've had weddings.
Yes, we had. Proposals.
Lots of proposals. We've had sing-alongs, fundraisers, you name it.
Orders of protection.
Not against us.
Right.
Not against us. Bad fights. You just never know. But it's cool because we can. What I like about somebody having an idea to do an event like that looks at you and go, well, you have this space, just use it. It forces us to look at
your place differently. Yeah.
So differently. Yeah. And what Beth Stanley was on the show, one of her things as a consultant in her business, she charges her clients to really look at their space. And I tell people all the time, we don't sell a lane, we sell an area, we sell a table, we sell space when we're looking at an event. But here was an event. If somebody came off the street and said, hey, I want to rent the facility to do this, I would have looked at them like they were crazy. Right. But of course, it was Tabitha takes over. Yes.
Yeah, it's it. Oh, Patty, she's right there.
She's on it today. And the winning salon got a visit from Tabitha. And the winning salon was Visage Hair Studio. Michael Wilkinson.
Right. I never heard anything about how that worked
And
out.
then Tabitha went to the salon. His client was Mary Mack. She had this big, beautiful hair.
She had a lot.
They were in Anthony's show on stage. Michael did the show a couple times after, but Mary had a walk-on role in the show with her big hair. I think there might have even been I think there was a little cash prize incentive too. So not only did they get this visit from Tabitha, which the salons really loved,
Right.
it was just an opportunity for press too. To each
Yeah,
salon.
absolutely.
And that's what they made it about. So
Right.
you never know. I mean, if you have an idea like that, we will entertain anything.
Absolutely.
Timing, it's funny. It's just time. It's just when you fit it in.
Yeah.
But that was a Sunday night. I'll never forget. The league was bowling, and we would.
People started coming in.
People were coming in. They were all over the place. One of my favorite guests of the night, Edith Sutzkind, was here. It was sadly before her passing.
Remember when
She was so excited.
She was like a celebrity when
she was sitting there with her big hair. That her stylist was in the competition.
Yeah. That was fun.
Fun times. We like to reminisce about fun times. You never know what you miss.
Never
And that
know.
Elvis is a good friend of ours. Elvis has been here many times.
Great guy.
He hosted the sing-along contests.
What a wonderful, wonderful man.
He
Does
shares
so much.
He does, and he shares a birthday with my dad. August 5th. It's his birthday. So
Well, another Leo.
another Leo. Yeah, we're surrounded by Leos. Lots and lots of Leos. Not always a good thing.
Most of the time, it's good.
Yes, for sure. I could have just used a picture collage to show those photos, just like this one. Today's meme of the day. This is a timeline of photos of bowling this summer in 2020.
Oh, God. That's funny and sad.
It is sad.
It's funny and sad.
And sadly now people can fill this with some pictures of them bowling in New Jersey. But photos of me enjoying summertime bowling in 2020.
Come on, Andy. It's time. Let's start.
Andy, you got us upset.
It's time to start. It really is. It's time.
It is time. We're ready to. We are.
To start.
We're ready to rock and roll. We're just starting to get punchy. Is punchy enough? I don't think punchy.
There is one that's close to punchy because I've used it many times.
Yeah, but it's not punchy.
No, it's not. That's not what it's called.
Coastal.
That's different.
Yeah. No. Manical, I think. Works.
So you know what's funny?
What's
and
funny,
this is
Nazareth?
totally off topic about what we're talking about right now, but so I've been very curious about. I have my beliefs in what I believe in, but I'm always open to listen to other sides of the story. And there's this thing nagging with me about the hydroxychloroquine.
Mhm.
I think that's the name of it.
Hydroxychloroquine.
And whether that really is a treatment or, because the story is that people don't want it to be a cure because then it's Trump was right and they don't want him to be right, and so there was always this nagging, and it's funny because it came and it went, and then it came back again, and then it went, and usually when a story continues to come back, because there have been other things that have been said can treat it, but they've kind of passed by the wayside. And so I reached out to a couple of doctor friends that I know who I fully trust and know that I feel confident that they have the knowledge because they're fierce researchers. And they believe that it is a treatment. And Patricia is 100% right.
It's cheap and no money to be made. Which
The
is part
problem
of the
is that the belief is not whether it makes Trump look good or bad. The belief, at least on this side is that the drug companies do not want it out. Because when they finally come up with this treatment and this vaccine, it is going to be by far the largest selling drug that was ever.
Well, especially for a short in the short term, maybe not necessarily long term. Because think about this: next year. Now, let's say we come out of this as the next flu season, so to speak. Coronavirus is never going to go away, right? Coronavirus
It's
is going to
always
be around,
going to be there.
but it'll just have a new strain. It'll just look different. So our GP agrees as well. So our GP has said he along with a bunch of doctors together, have treated a bunch of their patients.
The problem is,
and they put hydroxychloroquine. He said it is part of treatment. It is not the end all be all.
Right. And
so
the
he
thing
has
is,
treated people with
yes.
the Z-Pack, hydrochloric, with 3 or 4 different things.
Vitamin D, yes.
And our GP has said he has lost one patient through all of this, and sadly she was elderly, and it wasn't the reason why she passed, but she happened to contract.
It was a contributor.
This group of doctors, I think there's like 10 or 12 of them that talk on a regular basis, have the same experience.
Right.
And they've been going back and forth, how do I treat, whether they're young or old? And the story, to your point, goes back to this, which I believe is also part of that whole executive order that he signed several weeks ago, with putting the mandate down on the drug prices, forcing the hand and saying, hey, listen, you can make a profit. We want this country's built on it. At the same time, the conversation we had the other day is the overbilling, the overcosts. Enough's enough. And I believe this is part of the driver, because of not only just this drug, any drug because it's going to be the most selling drug.
I will tell you though, who in their right mind? Well, I shouldn't say. There will be people that will get the vaccine, and there will be tremendous amount of people who will not, because if you think about a vaccine, think about vaccines that were researched for years, and then they started giving it to it. They started administering it, and people got sick, and they were like, "Oh, this wasn't a good idea." This has had essentially no long-term research, so there were going to be a lot of people that will not vaccinate.
Yeah, and Jennifer, I don't necessarily disagree.
I agree.
Because I really don't have faith in the vaccine, but I believe in that. What I would agree with, I believe there's treatment that can be done, which has been proven, and so
Patricia is 100% right. And they
want it right. They want to use the other drug.
Hydroxychloroquine is maybe $10 a pill or a couple dollars a pill. So
good.
Going into the problem, this is the thing with that pill, is what I was told, is that it is not for everyone.
No.
And it is almost more of a preventative, and you have to catch somebody early in the treatment, or early in the early stages of them being sick, for it to really work.
No vaccine.
There are people that are using it.
No drug is for everyone. Not one. So you have to find the right mix for each person. No, right?
Again, I lose total faith in. And you know what? I'm sure politics are wrapped up in it somehow, but really, this is just drug companies basically holding people hostage because they want to make more money.
And that's a large part of the problem, which needs to continue to be addressed. And so you have to demand the only way that works.
A pill. Patricia is on her game today.
Exactly.
And yes,
exactly. That's what Nazareth just said. We're all being held hostage because there's no money in the cure. And that's the crazy part. And the other thing, the other conspiracy theory, right? Once they come up with a cure, there's always going to be something else. So there'll be the next thing. And so man-made, and I'm not talking about coronavirus, I'm just talking about illnesses in general.
Right.
So they're not going to find a cure. Find preventative treatment. It's all preventative.
I mean, it's going to be like the flu. It's a flu.
I don't take.
And Ronnie, also, that was, at the beginning
Yes,
of this.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this, I remember reading a lot that there was a panic almost that people were using this drug, the hydroxy, whatever, for treatment of COVID, and it was causing a shortage
for those
for the people who needed it for lupus. And so it makes me even think, was that all, and I don't want to say it's a setup, but was that all, and I don't want to say conjured up, because there probably was a little bit of truth in it, but was that made into a big thing to push people to look somewhere else? So I don't know. It's a terrible. It's terrible. You can't even trust that things are being done the right way, because when there's money to be made, and this is
nothing new. There's nothing new.
Agreed. Look at what happened
Nothing new.
with the pens that people use, the EpiPens.
Oh,
with the prices of the EpiPens, there's no need for that.
And that was another thing. So that executive order, if you dig deep, I think there were 3 of them that were signed that day, and it was all medical related. And one of the conversations specifically was EpiPens, because of the fact that you can't get, kids need them to be. I don't know.
The school has to have one.
The school has to have one. You have to have one, and then they have to be changed every 6 months, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then they're $1,300 a piece.
Who can afford that?
Upwards? That's ridiculous. And then the insurance companies were only covering X.
Right.
So then there was a shortage, because then they couldn't get them because they were being hoarded. And then, of course, there's the cheaper version, but then that has to be replaced much sooner. So you're paying the same amount over time. It's terrible. Again, nothing new.
Yeah, and we're
fighting over all.
And then you have what I honestly believe is a lot of what the base of the problem is that so much of this medication is imported from overseas.
Yep.
Why are we not making it here? What? I don't understand.
It's just not pharmaceuticals. It's a lot of things. We're being held.
It's a lot, but
to an extent, we are being held hostage by. You call it China, you call it Asia, you call it Europe, wherever manufacturing of these products is. We've allowed that, and we've allowed it for too long.
I agree with you.
When we didn't even encourage people to make products here in this country, because if we encourage them and help them do it, we'll be in a much better place. But because it's so much cheaper,
it goes back again to cheap labor.
Of course, but we've allowed that and we've created that environment. We have allowed that to happen. We could do.
It's just been going on for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's not just drugs. It's
with everything. So how do we do? And listen, love him or hate him, that was one of his biggest platforms when he ran in the first place. America First. Just think about that. I don't care what party. Just think about America First. Just think about what that means. Right? To me, that puts us. However it rolls out, right? Whatever happens later on. I'm just saying, think about that. And so I couldn't agree wholeheartedly more. Incentivize the companies here to manufacture
that hasn't
products.
Worked out very well.
Well, we have not put our money where our mouth is. We say it, but we don't do it.
Because people inherently,
Amen.
a lot of people, yes. Yeah, I totally agree. But the problem is, now listen, we can delve into this, or we can talk about this for an hour. The problem is that because the worker is so protected in the United States, and there are unions that really look. The minimum wage is $15. How can we can't compete on, the problem is we can't compete on price.
No, but yes, and okay, and I don't, so minimum wage is $15. How do you, outside of the minimum wage, incentivize corporations, because that's going to be their largest expense. How do you then incentivize them to bring all the other expenses down to still operate? And so I'll use Amazon as a great example. Just what happened here in New York City. I'm just talking about a company who wants to build a facility and employ people.
Yeah.
Got chased out
of Queens, right? You're talking about Queens, right?
Got chased out of Queens because of everything else. They were being incentivized to come here and bring 2,000 plus 10,000 jobs in an area where that could use the jobs. Forget about the name. Forget about the company. It's an example. So let's say company X. I have no problem with incentive. They're going to pay taxes. They're paying taxes, but incentivize them to be here. That helps bring the cost of everything else down, while sadly the labor is higher. But there are plenty of states in this country that you could still operate factories at a lower cost. Listen, should we be paying what they're paying overseas, $2 an hour? No, absolutely not. So people still have to make a living and feed their families.
What the point is it's easy to look at what the problem is, but it's difficult to maneuver the solution. Now the problem is, listen, what Amazon been a great thing for Queens?
No,
absolutely
not
right.
It's Washington, us. It's some of the bigger states. Yeah.
Right.
But we're just talking about the example here in New York.
Absolutely. Would it have crushed some of the small businesses in Queens? People that work their whole lives to build their businesses? Yes. So,
but it was warehousing. We're talking about warehousing.
It doesn't.
And so they needed a space to put warehousing. So they're not selling products out. It's not like it's not.
I understand, but
listen, Amazon has killed small business to begin with. I got that.
Yeah,
that facility, I don't believe would have done. Actually, I think would have helped build around, because when you have people working, you fill everything else. So I don't think all those small mom and pop stores would go out, because you're not walking into the warehouse to purchase. They just needed a space, so it chased them out of New York into another state to do the same thing, where we could have used it.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, there's no doubt that the taxes alone for the state would have been.
So we were giving them an opportunity. We said to them, here's X dollars to make it happen, and we chased them right out.
Yeah, those small businesses got crushed that way.
Right. And listen, I don't believe in that. I'm a firm believer in small business. And I will tell you, the conversation I had earlier at the bank, while many of us are getting hugely crushed right now, I do believe in this actually also hits, there's a reset button that's being pressed. And I believe that small businesses have the opportunity to rise up again. And depending on the community, as long as you have a strong
a foothold in the community,
economic development corporation,
yes.
A chamber of commerce, where you're encouraging small businesses and then employment. You think about Staten Island alone. Lots of small businesses, now we do have big employers, the hospital, Verizon, our utility companies,
the paper plants is huge.
VZ Paper. We have the port. I mean, we have a lot of huge employers, and at the same time, that helps build the business around us. Amazon by coming here, even IKEA's warehouse, right?
Yep.
Nobody talks about them.
Yep.
It's just warehousing, but it employed thousands of people.
Yeah.
Which is great. Amazon as a company is hurting the small businesses.
Right.
And you know,
they are.
They're looking at They have the only brick and mortar they have are bookstores, which has hurt all the Walden Books of the world.
Honestly.
So now, if they're looking to take over Sears and Pennies, again, opportunity still knocks for people who are trying to sell a product, because it becomes the avenue to sell product. The difference is, I know if I have a product and a service to sell, I no longer have a brick and mortar store. I can sell it online,
right, absolutely.
Or I use Amazon.
Right.
Walmart did it first. Walmart was the first to kill small businesses.
Yeah.
Now you've got Walmart and Amazon.
The problem is, if you think about it,
scale.
Walmart was much more. They were really the first mega ones to be excluded from states. Like, there's no Walmarts in New York.
Oh, they're not going to come to you. They won't allow. Because, and I do agree, that I will agree with. That kills the small business. Amazon warehousing does not. Amazon as a whole does.
Well, because
they're going to still have that opportunity. They're still going to have those buildings.
Right. Because I think the impression is that it's a slippery slope.
Of course.
You know, and what's kind of happening here? Well, once we get in there, and the community, after a while, after the furor dies down,
sure,
the community will embrace us a little bit more. At least they won't be paying attention when we start, well, you know what, we're going to open up this and then we're going to open up that. We're already on Staten Island, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. So,
but how many more people are working? Which
no,
helps us
I don't listen.
long term. Do I agree with their practices, their employment practices? Maybe not. I've heard. I know people
good
that
and bad.
I know people that have worked there.
Yep,
Good
me too.
and horrible.
Yeah.
I've also known from some of the horrible stories that I wouldn't hire those people anyway. I mean, they just don't want to work. You want to collect money and then not work, and you can't complain that I can't get a smoke break.
Right.
Because by the time I get to the end of the warehouse, it's my 15-minute smoke break's up. Well, you know what? Get over it. Like, do I agree with some of it? No. But at the same time, you also have to be willing to work. And I know people that have made their way up.
Yeah,
who make more money, and every company has that. So how do we encourage jobs? So today, I think it was yesterday or today, we finally hit under 1 million new unemployment applications.
Oh, really? Oh, well,
So
that's big.
New. So
Right,
I don't know what the
you're
total
saying.
number, but under 1 million new
Well, because you know what?
applications, which I think is great.
There's no extra 600. So.
Well, that's true. So nobody's going to go run for the few bucks. It's true. I don't, but also at the same time, people are getting back to work in a smaller fashion.
Right.
The workforce isn't going to be the same for a long time.
No, it's not.
You know, retail stores, if they had 30 employees and 10 of them were full time, well, guess what? The full time employees are going to be working first before all the part timers because people aren't going to be shopping.
But you know
Again,
what?
this community is very different from others.
There are
And I see it
opportunities.
different.
There are job opportunities there. I mean,
Tons.
there are if you look at some of the retailers that were not even able to keep up with the demands of what they were trying. I mean, so yeah, city workers are going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
Because once they start to realize that, well, we can't afford to pay people.
And
That's going to be.
And at the same time, the argument has come down to if you set your city budgets up properly, spend your money properly, and you could bank for a rainy. Now, listen, this is not just a rainy day, right? And I say this. I don't mean this as easy because people look at small business and go, "Oh, they should be okay." No small business is okay. We're all struggling in a different way. If this was a month?
I was just going to say, after the
6 months, this is asinine, and this is not 6 months. This is
24
months
of
something.
Yep. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
nobody can recover. Nobody can plan for it. You can only have so much in the bank because I will tell you, my bank account is just debit.
It's horrible. I will tell you.
There's no credit. There's nothing coming in.
That causes so much anxiety. It just causes so much anxiety. But the thing is that it's difficult. But you know, some people are able to use that to look for opportunities to push their businesses. It may be in a slightly different direction, but in a case like this, I mean, it's a balancing. What are we going to do here?
Yeah, well, it's also the size of the building.
Constant. That you nailed it. When you look at that, you see debit.
That's all you see. I had one credit this month, money that was owed
from God knows when.
From November, from the city. A city agency owed us money from November.
Well, we got paid. That's a good.
Just got paid. December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Okay, 9 months later. 9 months later, we finally got paid from the city of New York for something. Now they had the money. It's just somebody. It's somebody understanding and pushing the button. Because I have to say, when it comes to the city's purchase ordering and the way that system works, it's very good. I can go in. I see my purchase orders. I see my city contracts. Wonderful. But to get paid 9 months later. Now I will say it was a little bit of a blessing in disguise because it was nice to get the money out. Because it was the only. My accountant says, "Well, what's that money?" I said, "Money that was on the books that was owed to us." At the same time, it wasn't even the whole amount. It was the whole amount of the purchase order, but they owed us more over that. And then I get told, "Oh no, well you'll get it." Well, you've been telling me that for 9 months.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the city could be in a better place if money was spent properly. And then now we're talking about defunding programs. Now listen, I'm not getting into that. All I'm saying is the idea is that we're defunding something. Publicly, they're saying they're defunding something. All that money does is get moved from one place to another. And guess what? Something's going to be funded in another. Something has to get funded in one shape or form. But the laying off of city workers, of course, is going to be because they're not bringing in the revenue.
Yeah.
But they have an opportunity to bank for the rainy day also. So one of the challenges that I have, property taxes, and I've talked about this, our property tax bill, almost $200,000 for the year, okay? Almost our property taxes for this building,
Just defer it.
to almost $200,000 a year. We have to pay it in 2 payments. Well, July 1st was due. But guess what? They're not, I don't care about I'm not asking for a freebie. I'm just asking for
Right.
help on the interest.
Correct.
First of all, they raised the property tax, but they didn't raise the interest. So it's still 18%. And there's no help. The city council is not helping anybody on the interest payment.
Yep.
And so now you're not helping yourself.
No.
You have to help yourself. You have to invest in yourself. I'm a firm believer that you have to. I know this we're making this sound easy and logical,
But
because Russ McAuliffe and I have these talks all the time, and we always say, well, you're thinking logically.
right.
They're not thinking logically, and I want to hope they are.
Well, sometimes
I want to hope they are, but they're
right.
not.
Because in a case like, the problem is that the higher up you go, the canopy of that covers all of the decisions that you make and everything you have to consider is so much bigger. When the
Absolutely.
lower down in the food chain you are, I like that. That's the word of the day. We're just micro focused, but the bigger it becomes, and that's not an excuse for not doing the right thing.
100%.
But I just think there need to be people in place.
That's stupid.
No, you know what? I think that sometimes they're self-serving.
Well, so what happens, and I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And I don't care whether it's politics or organizations. So in our world, in the volunteer world, I'm a firm believer on term limits, and I believe the same thing for politicians. Because what happens, it's easy to say I can do this job for a period of time and I enjoy it. And I'll use my job at USBC as a great example.
Yeah.
Somebody says to me, I served on the board of directors for the United States Bowling Congress, and we have a 9-year term limit. Okay, I had the opportunity to serve as vice president and president. My term was a 3-year term as president. And somebody says, wouldn't you want to continue to serve on the board? And I said, no, because if I haven't given what I can give in 9 years, well, what more?
Then
could
I need to
give?
move on.
I need to move on. The organization needs to move on, because now what happens? I'm outside, so
You get
to do something because you get to do something because you want to exit the 4 walls.
Right.
If you don't exit your 4 walls of any business, right?
You never learn. You
never learn. Somebody's knocking at the door. Hi.
Probably Jimmy's appointment.
If you never leave your 4 walls, you never learn anything that happens outside the real world.
Yeah.
So now take this to politics. Same thing. Politics. Let's say tomorrow, Naz and I run for office. We're going to run for a city council. Okay, 2 different seats. We're going to run together. We're excited. We're energized because we believe we can make a difference on the city council. However, the longer we do that job, the longer we have now entered the 4 walls of that job.
Yep.
So now I've entered the 4 walls of city council, and I don't know anything else. Forget about city council. Now what that becomes, I look at our senators and our congressmen, right? So senators, great example. A lot of them no term limits. They've been doing it a very long time.
Yeah.
That's all they begin to know. And to your point, it becomes self-serving because now I can work my way up the food chain. And listen, Senator Feinstein, great example. Nancy Pelosi, great example. And they're on both parties. Mitch McConnell. You have these folks that have been doing it a very long time. Some, I just threw names out there just because.
Right.
Some still good at their job.
Right.
And are still in touch with their constituents.
So many aren't.
Because now they're so consumed in Washington or here in New York City. We have local politicians that we work very well with.
Yep.
Have no issues with.
Correct.
And
we are pretty lucky on Staten Island for the most part.
And all of them are still in touch with their constituents in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
However, there comes to a point where they lose that. And that's when somebody needs to realize, I'm done.
So the problem.
Sorry for that rant, but
no.
I want to say, and I agree, they're politicians, they're stupid, Jen, but at the same time, they're stupid, and they're not stupid, they're smart, but it becomes stupid because they do it for too long, and they get stuck in that circle.
Right.
And that's all they become to know.
So the
And
problem
it's easy
becomes,
to get stuck in that.
yeah,
Because all you
absolutely.
do,
Because it's comfortable.
they give themselves
And it's-
raises.
right.
They continue to do the
Right.
work, and it's at the expense of everybody else. And nobody wants to vote themselves out of office. So nobody
Yes.
wants to give
No.
up a term limit.
No.
Listen, Bloomberg did it, took an opportunity. The city council allowed it. Now, I have to say that might be the only time I probably ever agreed with it,
with it.
because
Yes.
we had nobody on the other side running. Overall, he did a good job and
I thought he did
continued
too.
the work. Giuliani
That he
finished
brought
on a high
forward.
note,
There was forward movement in the
and
city.
Bloomberg did the same thing. And now we're taking a step back. So now I would not, sadly, I wouldn't feel the same if this mayor did
No.
the same thing.
No.
But you can't have both worlds.
Right, and at which point I was going to say, so how do you take that and somehow be able to keep the people who are doing the right thing and you think can move you forward, and really kind of excess the people who are not doing it right? You know how you do it? You vote. People have to pay attention to what's going on.
100%.
But people do not pay attention. And as many problems as we have, and there are a lot of
people just vote
problems,
down the line.
and they,
And that's it. That's all
correct,
they do.
which is,
Don't know anybody.
yes,
Don't listen to any of the issues.
that's why,
I always vote over party lines.
right,
Have there been times that I have voted for my party?
vote for the
Absolutely.
person, not the party.
Agreed.
Right,
And
that's how I
I'm the
feel.
firm believer in that. And so, yes, and so Wendy makes a good point.
Okay.
That is part of the problem, is the fact that the federal government hasn't necessarily given enough money to the cities and states. I could also argue the other side, where they've given money, the money's available to them, but the argument that's being made, and I see this directly in our city, especially because we have city contracts. Money is spent frivolously, and so now who's to blame for that? Don't be pre-COVID. Don't come and blame COVID for your
where we are now.
Right. You should be seeking funds to cover specifically this, and that's what they're not asking for. They're looking for money. At all cities and all states, they're looking for money.
Well, because
to
it's
help.
impossible.
Of course, no different than the drug company billing this and getting this. That's what they're doing. So now, when somebody says, "Oh, I need $40 million," well, for what?
Right. Well,
COVID
we're going to
didn't
spend
cost you
$2
$40
million on COVID and $38 million on programs that if we don't get the money, we're going to have to defund them. So, again, the things that we can fix are locally. Vote, because when things filter, they filter from the local up. I mean, how much power do you think that Trump has over our everyday lives? How much power does Governor Cuomo have over our lives? And de
Point proven
Blasio?
today. In today's world,
Exactly.
look what's happened. And the mayors have also turned that over to him,
Yep.
because at this point, they didn't want to be bothered.
Right.
They had no plan in place. They thought he would have a plan in place, and guess what? He doesn't either. And we're working. We've made great progress. Do I agree with everything that comes out of this man's mouth?
Right.
Absolutely not. Right. Did I have some issues before?
Well, not now,
Absolutely.
because
his mouth is
Dunkaroo is coming out of his mouth.
It's just sad that we're living in this time that you're at a crossroads. You want what's best for all of us, and it's not easy. I agree. Term limits. I don't want to talk about the Electoral College because I don't necessarily agree with you, Wendy, on that. But
well, you can have a good conversation with her about that.
Yeah, and I see both sides of that without a doubt. But I look at the populous states. That's my thing. That's why. But again, what I do like what they did recently is that you can't. You have to go with the popular vote. You cannot change your vote. You can't pay for those votes, which I believe that was a very big thing to have been done. We said we wouldn't talk politics, and here we have to talk politics. I'm sorry. But you guys are you guys are pushing us. I certainly hope. And you know what's funny, Jennifer, that you mentioned that $865 million the mayor's wife had spent. It's come up in press conferences in the last 3 weeks.
Oh well,
and no answers.
There has never been an answer for that.
Okay.
And
that was my point before. You spend money and move it and spend it on something else. Then tell us that program was never funded. And we funded this.
So this is my thing.
They can't say they don't know. They know damn well.
So is it incumbent on our other local officials to press that? to find out what's
Wow.
going on.
And
Well, because now
beautiful-
we got politics. Because
Right. So here you are, and the sad part about how this all plays out in 2020, it's an election year, and
You're
more
right.
so because it's a federal election. But
Right.
I will tell you, if it was a huge gubernatorial race, it would be in the same. Boat.
Oh, I
This man isn't up
absolutely.
for election,
Right.
so it's easy for him to do, and not that it's easy, but to an extent,
Yeah.
it's easy for him to do whatever.
Yeah.
And they all keep saying they don't politicize. We say this a lot, but have you watched the mayor's briefings lately?
Oh, yeah.
On the
So-
table, 80-something days to election day.
He
Like you create that environment, and that's not good.
yeah.
Consider the count of the Cayman Islands.
He took some shots today for he went to a neighborhood, it might have been in Queens, and was interviewing some of the small business owners there, and there was a bakery there, and it was small business, and the guy had expressed, we need help, we're small businesses, we're dying, and he just pretty much took his photo up and skedaddled. So Jennifer, again, you say that you're amazed he won an election.
She's talking about.
I think she's talking about De Blasio.
Oh well, but you had somebody, and I love Nicole. She's a friend, but she wasn't strong enough to beat him. I mean, he's established. You have to remember, an incumbent. It's very difficult for an incumbent to lose their seat.
Yep, it's very difficult
for re-election because
Yep.
less people do come out.
Yep.
Federal presidential elections a little different, but I could
Yes.
argue the same thing happens in presidential
Yeah,
elections.
absolutely.
And I do believe, to an extent, that could happen this year too.
Right, because
less people
people
do turn
feel
out.
comfortable. People will go, you know what? Things are not so
It
bad.
doesn't make a difference.
It's complacency.
Right. And so, whether you agree with that or not, my point is,
I totally agree.
on a re-election for the mayor, if you saw the turnout, it wasn't as well as it should have been. And somebody like Nicole, I think she was serious.
Right.
I also believe that she's trying to put herself out there for more. She's running for this Congress seat, which I believe for her was a better move than moving directly to the mayor's seat.
Right.
And so that's the other issue. So you're going to run for a seat that your constituents for Staten Island and Brooklyn know you. Okay?
Right.
Continue on that path. And I'm
Right,
listen,
kind
I'm no
of build
advisor, I just
from
buy
that.
it. And you build on that.
from that.
So then from there, so yes, you have to build your career and then to build your platform to then become mayor.
Yeah, I agree.
Is she
I
the person
totally
for the
agree.
job? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Do I support her because to an extent, with any of them. I support Max too.
Yeah.
Max has done some great things. Nicole has done some great things in their roles.
Right.
Just what bothers me about any of them, don't tell me you're going to do something that has nothing to do with the job that you are getting elected for. If you're running for assembly, I got it, but state assembly.
Right.
Don't give me some city issues because I'm sorry, I know it's on the docket.
Right.
Come on, let's make it
Let's
relevant.
make it
Don't
relevant
tell me
to
something
what
that
you're
if you were on
supposed to be
city
doing.
council, it's interesting. And Joe Borelli is another good one to listen to, and even Steve Matteo.
Yeah.
They're very passionate about Staten Island.
Right.
They have done some good things. Joe Borelli wants to be the mayor of Staten Island tomorrow. But if Staten Island's seated, he would be running for mayor. Got it. We're going to see Matteo is now going to run for borough president behind Jimmy. I don't know.
They've kind of
There's a transition. of
come
course.
up that way.
But I have to say, the good thing, though, what we don't have and we need more of, one-term limits, I couldn't say that more, but we need succession planning.
Yeah.
Without proper succession planning, you create the environments that we have today.
Right.
And so
the boat is going this way for 4 years, and then somebody else takes the reins, or 8 years, or whatever it is, and then somebody takes the reins, and it's like a hard left or a hard right, and now we start the whole process over again. So yeah, it's very difficult. It's almost like there's no continuity, and part of it you understand different people, different theories of what they want, but you really some continuity, and
so that's
there are
what
a
you
lot
need.
of
And I will say
people
they've
that
done
don't
that
want
on
anything
Staten
to do.
Island on
Yes.
both parties. We've had that, which is
Yes.
great.
Yes.
We're seeing it I'm seeing in both parties today in this upcoming election. And so you have to groom the next people. And so Barack Obama, I said this previously, he is a prime example of someone who was groomed by the party to succeed and move forward. They worked him. neither party has continued to do that. And that's why we have what we have today.
Right.
Wendy, and I don't disagree with exactly what you're saying, and so true. When you talk about how the Electoral College was built, yes, wholeheartedly agree. She talks about teaching Will at home. And at homeschooling, you learn so much. You learn so much, and so you take that in and share it. So yeah, I don't disagree with that. I just disagree with, there has to be something in between where you have to still take in consideration your population.
Yeah.
And you want true representation from all over the country.
Yeah.
So it's there. It's not perfect. That's the problem.
We need a Democratic Republican. I was thinking about it.
You need a libertarian.
When in Hamilton, where they before one of the cabinet battles, Democratic Republicans.
No, it's Demican.
Or Demican. Yeah, there you go. He's half elephant and half
dog. Yeah, well, so exactly that. A Democrat Republican, more than a liberal leader, without a doubt. And I think that's, and we're seeing that movement. And I will say, if you really watch lately, there is starting to be that separation from that liberal movement, which is interesting. And so you look at other countries and what's happened there and what's happening here. I don't know if I share this.
I think what happens is that when there's liberal leadership, it literally is liberal leadership, and it just continues to eat the budget and kind of overtake governance. It's like they want to take care of everyone, and that's a wonderful thing, but you still have to govern.
Yeah.
So it needs to kind of come. And listen, I'm a liberal. I even consider myself a liberal, but there is something to be said for a balance of both parties somewhere in
there's
the middle.
Independencies. There is a riding the line, and so I believe that the libertarian movement, and that's not liberal. I mean, there's that's riding the line too.
Right.
I mean, there's something to that, but it's not strong enough. And Jennifer makes a good point. The party's out of control. I will tell you, it's not necessarily the parties are out of control. It's the fundraising. The fundraising mechanism is part of the larger problem.
Because that is where the control becomes.
Right now, both parties, which it's funny, the Republicans had raised so much money for a long period of time and did really well in the last 5 years. And the Democrats suffered greatly.
Because of that,
and lack of leadership from their party, from their leaders. They changed parties, people. And so finally they have someone. And now forget about it's outside of the candidates. Too, but the candidates certainly propel.
Because now they have
the amount of money they're raising together is incredible.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've said this here, but I say this all the time.
Therein lies the power.
I believe that the fundraising is part of the problem. I'm a firm believer that our politicians are all friends to an extent. We can't see it.
Oh, I believe that.
We can't see it. And so I'll use Hillary as an example. Hillary, Obama, Bush, Trump, okay, to some extent, they were all friends.
Oh, how many pictures have you seen of Trump and the Clintons?
And we're not allowed to see it because of the fundraising and because they want to basically show
they have to conjure up this image that
they don't work together, that nobody talks to each other.
Correct.
And I'm sorry, I don't buy that nobody talks to each other. I just don't buy it. Because I know when you're involved in some way, shape, or form, whether you're in business and you work with politicians, and you see it. I've had some great conversations with our local politicians. And when I see them pen letters together, I mean, they mean it. And I've seen them sit and have lunch together.
I absolutely, especially on the local level.
And definitely agree with that. Federal, I think it's even stronger. We just can't see
We just don't see it, right? Yeah. It's much more.
On the state side, I think it's certainly more.
So every time Wendy types something, I feel like I
know she's writing us a book, so we got to read it and follow it.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that.
And it's true. And again, this isn't anything new. What we're going through today is nothing new. It's just very different from what we've gone through before.
It feels like the two extremes are they're more extreme, and they seem more passionate.
The tear is just a huge tear.
Yeah.
Again, always existed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just very different today.
Absolutely.
And the doesn't
Doesn't
this.
help.
We're sitting here right now on social media doesn't
It
help.
doesn't.
You
help.
know, and we really do try. I mean, this is the most political talk we've had
Oh my
on
gosh.
our show in 121 episodes. So I don't know if this is a sign that we have to start
Well,
pulling
look,
the plug on what
This
we
is
do.
this is good. We're having good conversation.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, it's
contentious.
conversation, and
Right.
I don't want people to. I don't push my political agenda.
No, me neither.
I have my opinions and my
Right.
thoughts. I would share them when they're asked.
Right.
You know, part of the reason when, oh, that's right, Steve was a councilman.
Yeah,
in New Jersey.
Exactly.
Up would be fighting 1 minute and
And
then
they
go
go
out to dinner. Without
Yep.
doubt, I have photos and I've seen and I have friends in politics that exactly that.
Yep.
And but that's normal because you're a colleague. These are your peers.
I honestly, that makes me feel better to know that, because it makes me feel like possibly at some point there would be a meeting point where, or points where they could all sit down and agree.
Most
But
of
the
these-
fact that it's so, well, we
Polarizing.
can't, right, because when we're out in public, or, we can't let people see that this goes on. No, we're not.
Well, and the best, and I will tell you, no matter how wherever you're involved in, the best conversations and the best solutions come from having dinner and drinks.
Absolutely.
I can't tell you how many napkins I've
Absolutely.
had over the years with notes on them from sitting at a bar or a restaurant and come up with solutions. It happens all the time. And in politics, I believe it's certainly very true.
Yep.
And so they can have solutions. And when you hear bipartisan, there is more bipartisan. They work
Yes.
more together than
Yeah.
you think.
I think so too.
And they just pick and choose the ones that they don't
Well, and
for
right.
public image.
And because at some point, American Express it says, it's on the tape. At some point, somebody is, they might sit together and come up with something. Somebody is going to take credit for it.
I don't care.
So who is it going to be? So no, that's what I'm saying.
that's
So I
life.
think that listen,
That's life.
I don't disagree with
I mean,
you.
No
I
different
don't
than
disagree with you.
I did an interview with Mark Miller the other day,
Right.
yesterday, and he had asked, "Hey, where did this idea come from?" And I said, "Having a conversation." He thought I was crazy. He goes, "Well, wasn't this your idea?" I said, "No." I said, "On the whiteboard, we had this idea that we would do something at some point, and then it turned into Naz and I having a conversation. Go, why don't we just do this? We could do it. We could do it. We could do it better than everybody else." And so here we are.
Well, we can actually sit and talk to our customers better than anybody else can, for
Well,
sure.
some of us don't have
And
customers,
we
so
can-
they were talking to themselves.
Right.
And yes, thank you, Ronnie. Certainly,
Yeah.
And good conversation.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
You guys helped propel conversations, and here we are, an hour and 40 minutes later,
And
still talking.
discussing something we said we would never discuss.
And we're only discussing it because you have pulled it out of us, but we're having a conversation. And I don't want to. So the point I was making before, I'm not a big fan of the signs on putting signs outside of a business because I think that can be polarizing.
Could be, and we talk about this all
And
the
that's part of the
time.
reason why we don't. Do I support our local officials? Yes.
Yeah.
Have I given money to some candidates? Have I given money to all candidates? Absolutely.
Yeah, so
But I can't
right,
put up their signs.
One-
One, they make a mess.
right.
So
right.
here's a rant. You ready?
Yeah.
There was the primary election is over,
Over and
their
signs
signs
are
are still out.
Yeah.
That's against the law. You're supposed to pick them up and send people out. But when you lose, you don't want to send people out to pick them up.
Yeah.
You don't want to pay anybody. Go pick up your damn sign. And that's part of the reason
Yeah,
why. One of the reasons why.
Absolutely.
But I believe that does make. Could rather do
Yeah,
this between
You're
shots
right,
and orange.
Jennifer.
You're right, Jen, for sure. We all would. And I will tell you, this environment, people are very respective in this environment when it comes to that.
For the most part.
Yeah.
You know
When you're
what?
with your peers and family and
Because
friends.
Face-to-face people are more respected.
Well, that's what I'm talking. I'm talking about this.
Right,
Oh,
yes.
the keyboard
But
warriors
I've
are a different
seen
story.
people that know each other on there be incredibly disrespectful to each other, and it honestly, it hurts my heart to see that.
I don't even want to
And
get
that's
into
why I can't even. I don't
even want to get into that because we
very
could go on for
rarely-
another hour on that alone.
Right.
But to go, keyboard, somebody called them armchair. Ooh, it was a good one too. I use keyboard warriors all the time.
Right. Absolutely.
And then there's the armchair. What do you call them? Armchair something. And it's so true. And you're right. Calm, intelligent conversations.
Yeah.
Respect each other's opinion. And because everybody comes from a different
place.
And so we're in business. We have a different mindset than some others.
Absolutely. And even you and I have different perspective on
Her
things.
and her husband have different opinions. Advance even wrote about that 4 years ago. And it's not a bad thing. It's what makes the world goes round.
Yeah.
You have to come to a common ground. And I don't care whether it's politics or not, even business.
Right.
In this environment, forget about politics. This environment with what's happening around us is even more polarizing because you want to trust the information that you have and what do you trust. And back to Russ, one of the conversations we specifically had, thinking logically, the topic is usually when we have to do something, make a change, whether it's increased pricing, and he says, well, he basically feels like people should understand in the first place.
Yeah.
And yes and no.
Right.
And this is where him and I kind of fight about this. And it's great because it's a good conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't expect anyone to understand if they're not. I don't expect anybody that's not in business to understand
what's going on. Right.
I just don't. If depending on where you work, with the four walls that you're in,
right,
it's very, very different.
Oh, your experiences, which actually make us who we are.
The ones that go off the rails have no real argument. Yeah, they stick to one topic and
and so
they just don't want to be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, my shoes are untied.
Yeah, and it's the problem is that nobody. I don't want to say, but there are people who just are hardline, cannot see anything other than their opinion or something that they've read that might not even be true.
That's the other
which
issue.
Is my pet peeve, which we won't talk about because people will repost and post and share and quote, and I can't tell you how many times a day I see something, and the article was from 2010.
Oh, I just saw something recently. It was from 2014. I was like, that happened already, right?
And just
And Wendy, you're so right. We just need to know that we all have this, and it comes down to emotions. And sports, even in sports, someone wins, someone loses, without a doubt. But certainly in this arena. But Wendy, I couldn't agree more. We're supposed to be. We are people. We're human beings. Hi.
Hi,
Donna. It's so true, and just have respect for each other. I mean, if there's anything that Naz and I always share, Naz for sure, just have respect for each other. Just the world goes round. The world's a wonderful
place. We don't
place.
have to agree, but I respect your story. I respect that your experiences have formed the way you feel, and they're not the same. And I'm not going to think the same way as Wendy sees things. We're different people, but I respect.
Well, that's all right. I respect your right to be wrong.
Yeah, and you know what? I say that a lot of times in my head. I'll say I respect that, but in my head I'm saying, but even though you're wrong,
and it's so hard because you just want people to see it your way. I just had an argument with my brother yesterday. It wasn't even really an argument, but we were talking about something, and I said, we're on the same page. We're really not disagreeing at all.
Right.
But I'm trying to look at the whole picture. I'm trying to say, let's look at the whole thing and discuss our options, not just pigeonhole ourselves into one thing. And it gets aggravated sometimes.
Right.
Like,
well, it's easy. It's easy when it's family or somebody close because it's easy to kind of take it on a different way. So
the politics conversations in our family have gotten much easier in the last 6 months. It's just interesting how situations change and times that we live in, and you just have these conversations and you look at each other and go, really? And for the most part, we're really we just all kind of are on the same page,
right?
Because we also know what affects us individually and what affects and at the end of the day, what affects our communities.
Yeah,
which is important.
It's the number one thing.
That's what I look at. It's not me in my pocket. It's because there's nothing in my pocket these days. But it's about everybody else around us.
You're like the Monopoly guy with his pockets.
Yeah, if I had a monocle, I'd feel a little bit better about it. But right, people have different lives and circumstances.
Absolutely.
And exactly what we're saying, you come out, everybody has
oh my God,
their own perspective. And I talk about the volunteer side. When you build a group of people, everybody comes from a different place, and you have to respect that. At the same time, when you get to the table, you have to remember the reason why you're in that room is because of where you're from.
Right.
However, you have to make the decision that may not be best for you individually, but what's best for the organization.
In the end, if you have to make, yes,
share your opinions,
yes,
and respect the decision that's being made, because
right.
it's best for everyone, not just you.
Yeah.
I've sat in many rooms and made decisions and argued with people about decisions that were made that weren't necessarily best for me or my colleagues, but it was best for something else to move forward.
But that's why you need more people at the table that are willing to do that. And I have to say that I honestly believe that as polarizing as it's been at times is the I don't want to call it the particular movement, because I know that there are things about this movement that are not good. But the Black Lives Matter, just the movement, not the organization, has really focused a pinpoint light for me to listen to people's stories and to not prejudge. And it hurts me when I see other people doing it. If somebody is telling you that this offends me, this offends me, to have somebody go back at them and go, well, how could that offend you? You weren't even alive at that point, but that's my story. It's not your story. You haven't lived my life. So you can't say that doesn't offend me. So I think, I think that that's kind of brought it to light. And I would hope that out of all of this, that what really comes out of it is that we just hear each other's stories. I think if we listen to other people the way we want to be heard, listen, we'll all end up, just like Wendy says, the more you talk to people, the more you realize we're all the same. We all really want the same thing. We just kind of, I don't know, but it sounded weird, didn't it?
It's like a crow almost.
Something, oh, maybe the bird is back. Maybe a different bird.
No, it's so true. We're from the same mold. We want the same thing, and to think that movements like this have to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And I also believe it's also how it's happened is also a sign of what we're living through.
Yeah.
People are cooped up. We're not working. We're not going out. There's a lot to take in consideration, and add it all up. Just throw it on the pile. Just throw it on the pile.
Throw it on the 2020 pile.
Yeah.
Pile of caca. Yeah, it is. Yes, that's it. WTF. Yeah. So.
Although, I feel like Elmo should be the one that does that one. Naz, so 40-something minutes ago, we were getting ready to end the show. And
we were.
You brought up a topic, and then we haven't stopped. So, but we love, like I said, we love when everybody chimes in, and so we appreciate that.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Good conversation.
And for everybody that's there with us,
still chiming in. 121 days ago, we said we wouldn't do this, and it's all right. It's been good conversation. So we apologize to those that may have left, or still, if you're still listening, thank you. But today is the first day I have pants on.
I wasn't going to say
I think since March.
I don't think.
Oh,
it's
close. It's since March 17th, I think. It's the first time I had pants on. Maybe not. I had pants on in the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit later.
Like March. I said, it's close.
I have high socks on for the first time. And I'm going to post a photo of
And why is that?
Well, because I can wear them. I can't wear high socks with my shorts.
No, I'm not talking about the socks.
Why did I pants on? I was just wanted to change. And it was gross out.
Yeah, and Ray was going to wear. He actually pulled out pants this morning, and I said, "Why did you wear the pants?" He goes, "Well, I couldn't find a pair of shorts, but I hadn't unpacked the laundry, so I said, here's a pair of shorts." He was like,
but today's kind of like one of those.
It could go either way.
I have to say,
the monkey.
I don't really wear shorts to work. So if you see me in shorts, I'm not.
Yes.
You see me in shorts here. It's usually I'm not staying here long. I'm going somewhere.
It used to, and usually at this time of year, it signals that you're going to the Met game.
Or the Met game. But today it was rainy, and it did remind me of a day beginning of September, because it's so funny. The new season starts, and it's like the instant cool air comes, and the rain comes.
You feel it,
it's just automatic.
Yep.
But today my socks fit the conversation.
What do you got on?
This one,
Got
my
some
right one
Trump
says,
socks on?
"Today I will be positive."
Oh.
My left one says, "Despite the stupid people."
Oh, Frank.
I saw them and I had to.
You had to have them.
And yes, smartphones, social media, iPads, it all has certainly changed the way that we live, and everything's instantaneous.
Yeah.
And I say it all the time: it's good and bad.
It's good and bad.
Created some new environments, some great opportunities at the same time.
Yeah.
Creates some of the hell that we're living.
Yes, it absolutely does.
And keyboard warriors for sure. Anyway, we'd love to continue and chat.
But we have lives to live.
We have to get back to work.
Oh,
well,
gosh.
thank you for
Thank you
watching
for
today.
great
We certainly miss you too.
conversation.
Bowlers are in limbo. Jennifer, we think about our friends in Brooklyn all the time.
All the time.
Just know this side of the bridge is open, and we're looking forward to welcoming some new friends and faces this upcoming season, because we know it's coming soon. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. We just want to know when.
Send a little note to Andy. Let him know.
Call this guy. He won't have Dunkaroos in his mouth. He might actually like them. I don't know.
He might. I don't know.
He's gonna have an oil stain.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be back here tomorrow. Different conversation. 12 noon. Friday. And then we're off for the weekend. TGIF.
Yep.
And usually I don't say that, but
Wendy, just wanted to say that Will's bowling balls are done. If you want to come by and pick them up, just let me know what time you want to come today. Text me. Send me a text.
In the meantime, we will see you tomorrow at 12 noon.
Yeah.
For another show, Live from Rabs, episode 122.
No politics.
No.
We talked them out.
We did talk it out for almost an hour now. Smash the like button. Tell your friends and family. Naz and I are here 5 days a week, sometimes with...
Still at it. 2 hacks.
Still at it, yeah. Sometimes with our friend Joe Cal, now with our co-host, good old Governor, Andy Cuomo.
Yeah.
Until then, Naz.
That was awesome.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
My clicking skills are terrible. Let's try that again. Until tomorrow, Naz.
That was awesome.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.